So,
Go ahead.
so why the hat?
This is gonna do for great radio. I just want to start with that. Second, well, you know me in real life, so you know this about me is that I'm huge. I'm
Uh-huh.
a tall ass dude. You are as well. Um, which was always really funny whenever we walked around because we just were two really tall dudes
We're
just
two
walking
towering
around.
mofos.
Yeah, and something funny actually was that you something that we're like. I'm like a little bit taller than you, but your shoe size is bigger. I remember because you told me like once, and I just never forgot it. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker wears big ass shoes, and
My clown feet, yeah.
yeah. So, and also because your dad lent me shoes for your wedding, and they were like two sizes bigger than my actual size, so I had to borrow. I had to borrow socks so that they would fit. I'll never forget it. Why do I bring it up? Because of the hat. It's because I have a big head. I have a giant head. And because of that, I always look really weird wearing hats, so I don't wear hats. And then I found this hat, and this hat looks good on me.
No, it does.
So
It does. No, no, no,
yeah,
no. It was not a mock. I'm just like, we're
yeah.
indoors right now. There's no sun out, mate. Like, why are you wearing a hat? But I mean,
You
okay.
you know what's the worst part? This is not
What?
even a hat that should be worn in the sun because it's for context. It's a newsboy hat, and this material is like would be horrible in the heat. Like this would like melt you. This is a winter hat, pretty much.
Isn't that like a driver hat? Isn't that the phrase?
It's like a newsboy hat. I think that's the correct term, but
I
it's
believe
got
you.
and then it's got the normal mode, and then it's got turbo mode. It's got so that when I go
What?
fighting with the Russians, yeah, it's like Crocs. Crocs. You know how they have two modes, yeah. And then you've seen The Office, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you can turn it around.
And you're a douchebag artist.
No, I'm Date Mike. Pleased to meet me. How you like your ex in the morning?
Boo! Boo! Everyone boo this man.
Okay. So now I wear this hat. This is the hat that they give you when you're old and you've been to every pub in town. And
Jeez.
that's it.
Is that your prize for winning the world's end?
I'm just I just I've just always liked hats and I've just never been able to wear hats because I never look good in hats. So I found a hat that fits, so I'm gonna wear the damn hat, okay? Even if we're recording. Okay.
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 I've been locked up inside for more than a year. So sometimes I just have to do things inside to make me still feel like a person. You know what else I did today? I'm wearing jeans. Okay. I haven't worn jeans in so long because I just need to feel like a person. Okay. I work from home. The other day I wore a suit. I to work from home just so I could feel like, so I could feel something. I need this goddamn vaccine, man. I need
you do you want to talk about it, Chema?
No, I want to talk about Black Widow. Let's move on.
Add credits.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
And I'm Eddie. We're reviewing Black Widow, and this is the rollback.
It's a rollback. So,
AKA, they should have done this back in 2010, so we could have had a trilogy of these amazing movies.
Yeah, don't. For the first time, I will not disagree with you in this one. Black Widow, she's done running from her past. Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left her in her wake long before she became an Avenger. So that is the summary of the movie, and that was me trying to read it because, well, unedited. That's how you get me. So the Black Widow movie, a dream that we only thought was gonna stay a dream, is finally here. It arrived into our Disney Plus accounts. I had to pay the little extra fee for Premier Access, but in my opinion, and to summarize my thought on the movie, I think it was well worth it. I enjoyed the Black Widow movie. I thought it was fun. I thought the beginning was a little slow. I think the first third is not the best foot forward to start the movie, but I think when it gets rolling and when we get down the family, I think after that the movie just just goes up like a roller coaster that only goes up, as Augustus Waters would put it. I liked it. I liked Natasha. I love Scarlett Johansson. I was surprised by Florence Pugh because she's always been fun in every movie that I've seen her in, and she was really good in this one. I love David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz was great as well. I think the Black Widow movie was really fun. What did you think about it?
I think it was a spectacle. I think it had great story, a lot of heart, and it was well overdue. Really fucking overdue. And the thing is there's no way she would have had this kind of sway in 2010. Fuck, man, this movie should have predated Wonder Woman. This movie should have predated fucking. It should have come out the same year as Man of Steel in 2013. God damn, this movie was amazing. It was a spectacle in the best way possible, in every positive term I can think of.
Really? Surprised that you liked it so much. Yeah.
But you know why though? Because it was so fucking grounded. Like it didn't.
I agree.
and I think that's part of it. Is like there's no fucking
end of the world.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Like there's no like unibeams or fucking super soldiers. Like no, you and me, we're gonna go fist to fist, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. Let's go. Let's do this. But we can't just jump right into the middle of it. We got to start obviously from the beginning. And you get these 90s kids, in a neighborhood in a cul-de-sac. You get a glimpse into what their normal life is, which they pull a Pixar almost. In 10 minutes they get me caring about this family. The girls talking to each other. They felt like sisters, joking and talking to each other. The parents felt legit, and it's an undercover op, but like it was so expertly acted by two very talented young actresses. If it automatically sowed the seeds of sisterhood, between the two of them. Also the part where the family, we have less than an hour. Everyone pack. We're going on an adventure. Go. Like it feels like something you would tell a kid. And then when they're on the plane running and he's shooting, trying to protect them or whatnot. I get it. It's partly a mission, but also I feel like there's a lot of family aspect, like genuinely like caring for each other. The girl's mother gets shot and they're worried about her. They're crying for her. They're trying to protect her. Just those first 10 minutes made you care about this family from the get-go. And that is no easy feat.
I agree. I think like I mentioned before, I think the beginning part of the movie is the weakest part because I feel like the movie just needs to like get us through this small short exposition, and sadly I don't think it does a lot to veer away from like the cliches of like what we come to expect. Like we want those cliches, of course, that they have to be there, but I feel like it could have done something a little bit more interesting with that, and I don't think it did. I think the beginning is a little standard. If I showed you the first 10 minutes of this movie and I didn't tell you it was a Black Widow movie, would you have known?
No, but it's not necessarily a bad thing though.
No, it's not a bad thing, but I think it lacked a little bit of I think the start lacked a little bit of personality. Mm-hmm. I think the movie starts and tells you that it's the 90s. Let's compare it to another Marvel 90s movie. Let's talk about, for example, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was drenched in 90s. Everything from like the fashion to the music was ever present there. And I feel like in this one, it was a little short. It was a rough start, and you didn't have to like drench it in 90s, but I didn't feel a lot of personality coming in from that start. the thing that did like get me, that was like genuinely shocking, was like when the family's escaping and David Harbour lifts up this like tank to when they're gonna escape in the plane. Like I just finished watching it with my sister and with my parents, and that moment, like we're like, what the fuck, like why is he super strong? They haven't explained that. What the hell? So he's super strong, and then they explain to you, oh, he's also a super soldier, you know, like Captain America. And but that moment was like that was the moment that like hooked me, like from there.
Well, also, I didn't know if they'd make it or not. Like, genuinely, I wasn't sure, because it's like, okay, wait, so are they going to go with the Russians, or are they on the run because they got found, you know? Because I thought this was post Red Room, so I'm like, okay, maybe she's a rogue agent. What the fuck are they going to do with this? You know, I didn't know if they were going to make it, so there was some stress. There was actually a stress game there, which is hard, but good job. And then from there, I mean, it got dark real fast. There was child trafficking, which is a pretty dark way to fucking go. I mean, props to them to bring like a real world issue into, like, you know, into public view. Fuck, I did not. I think this might be the darkest opening to a Marvel movie ever. And then you get this haunting rendition of "Smells Like Teen Spirit," you know, played to this beautifully edited intro credits of, you know, global catastrophes happening, and what the Black Widow program has to do with it, the Red Room program has to do with it. You see these assassination soldiers, you get pictures of presidents, you know, with the main villain, with Durakoff, yeah. Masterfully edited, you know, as a guy that has to fucking edit things, fucking bravo, mate, bravo, like a piece of art, goddamn. By itself. And again, it sets the tone for what is going to be, it has the feel of a great spy thriller, which is, I think, the best kind of superhero that you can have. The best superhero movies are not necessarily superhero movies. They're a form of film that happen to feature a superhero. The Dark Knight is a great crime thriller that happens to feature Batman, the Joker, and Two-Face. This movie feels like, or Civil War, not Civil War, I'm sorry, The Winter Soldier feels like a great spy thriller that happens to feature Captain America and Black Widow and the Winter Soldier. You know, like it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The best superhero movies are masqueraded from another genre into the superhero genre. I'm pretty sure the Batman is going to be a mystery thriller. It's going to be. I
hope it is.
Yeah. But like, so this movie has that feel. It feels like a spy thriller, and it feels great. It's not like they just slapped on Black Widow onto it and was like, okay, this will work. Like, no, it feels proper. It feels great.
Yeah. I feel like in the same way that Spider-Man, like the Homecoming, is like a good teen film and also a superhero film, this is also like a good spy movie that's also a superhero film. Yeah. And I like how they make those comparisons. There's this great scene where Natasha and Yelena are walking into this little store, and they're talking while they're buying supplies, and she makes this comparison about how you know, oh, you're an Avenger, but like you're in a different league than the other Avengers. And Black Widow goes like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm pretty sure the God of Thunder doesn't buy Tylenol at the end of the day after a fight. Yeah. Like you're different. Yeah. And I like the comparison, because, you know, they are living in a post-Civil War world. The Avengers are divorced, as they put it in the movie. And just so we can close out on the first third, I'm surprised that you liked the opening sequence with the title sequence with the "Smells Like Teen Spirit." I thought it was really cheesy.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit got dark, man. It's like, fuck. Like they're setting the tone.
It got dark, but I don't know, for some reason. And this is not a detriment. Like I mentioned before, I like the movie. I think it's fun. It's just that first third to me was like a little rough to get through. Like I knew I was gonna get through good stuff, but was not a big fan of the first, and that includes that little opening sequence, because I thought it was a little. I'll be honest, I thought it was a little cheesy, but. And you know me, I like cheese, but I thought this was like a little too on the nose, and. You know me. I like a little bit more subtlety, and not like Snyder subtlety. So yeah, it's different, but I think the rest of the movie definitely like makes up for it. And so after that, after we see the entrance and the family escape, we jump to post the events of Civil War, and we see that Black Widow is on the run, and she kind of bumps into again with her little sister Yelena, played by future Academy Award winner Florence Pugh. I can guarantee you that. I love Florence Pugh. I've loved her in every single movie. I loved her in Fighting with My Family. I loved her in Little Women. I loved her in Midsommar, and she was great in this too. And she kind of looks like she's gonna keep popping up in these movies, you know.
Well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later because there is some spoilers to come. But
yeah.
So I liked. I also wanted to compliment them on the whole show don't tell thing, because you can tell when she gets hit with the red mist, she's like, "Oh my god!" Like you see the flip of the switch and everything she does, and props to them. You know, they weren't just like, oh, "I'm not under mind control anymore." Like that sounds like some stupid shit another movie would have pulled. No, they were very smart about it, and I think part of it also has to do with Scarlett Johansson being one of the main producers of this movie. She's like, "No, I'm gonna have a say because I've played this character for 10 years. I know the way I want to do it. I know the way it can be played in a proper manner." In wrestling, I'm going to jump to wrestling just for a brief moment. Yeah. The best promos typically come when you let someone off the leash. When you just say, "Hey, you know your character better than I ever will. Here's a mic. Go do your job." You know?
Yeah.
Just let Scarlett Johansson she didn't direct the movie, obviously, but to let her steer it in a certain manner, I think it was the best thing that this movie could have done. It was very healthy for it.
She probably knows the character better than anyone else. So
yeah. Oh, so quick question. For you, did it start to pick up when Taskmaster first shows up?
I have a complicated relationship with Taskmaster. I like Taskmaster's introduction, even though it was like a little bit mysterious. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like they just show Taskmaster on trailers, and we're supposed to be like, okay, that's Taskmaster. I know Taskmaster because I played the Spider-Man PS4 game. This is a very different Taskmaster from that one, and I don't know. It started to pick up a little bit there when she's in Norway and she's escaping. To me, the movie starts to come together when like the family gets together. Mm-hmm. Before that, it's just a setup. Like to me, if the movie would have started with Black Widow in Norway, like escaping, mm-hmm. like if they hadn't even showed them as kids, to me that would have worked. Mm-hmm. I don't think in fact, I think it would have helped if we would have grounded the film a little bit more. It would have made it a little shorter. Not that the movie is long. It's like 2 hours, 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel 2 hours and 10 minutes. It feels like an hour, 30 minutes. It feels really short. Yeah. Because it connects really well. But to me, the movie starts to really get its form when Florence Pugh and David Harbour and Rachel Weisz start to get introduced. But with Taskmaster, I didn't love how Taskmaster was handled, but mostly because I know it as a very a villain that could have had the legs to keep showing up. Mm-hmm. And to me, the way that it was used, the way that Taskmaster was used in this movie was like a little throwaway. Like mm-hmm. I would have liked Taskmaster to be used like a little bit more. Not just here, especially because I know that it shows up in like Spider-Man properties and Daredevil properties, and it just, I mean, what they did with it was, a nice twist, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more,
They didn't have to use Taskmaster. They could have used someone other super soldier by the name of like, White Widow or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And okay, fair enough. I can get that. I don't know. I thought that bridge action sequence was amazing. I loved the part where she gets Taskmaster, hooks her to the bridge, and then it like flips backward and swings back with the knife, kind of like almost Spider-Man style.
Yeah.
That action sequence was fucking amazing. The whole thing. And they did such a great job of showing Taskmaster using signature moves from other Avengers that we've seen several times, to where even someone from a normal audience is like, what the fuck? Like from the sharp claws when she's fighting Red Guardian, to the shield, Captain America's shield, to the leg flip that Romanoff uses. That famous scene where the twist and the flip, same fucking scene, but this time Romanoff has it done to her, and she's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And even the swinging was a bit like Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I like that sequence. To me, that's up Taskmaster as someone who is not to be fucked with, and I
Absolutely.
respect that. And then from there, let's see. There's the fight in Budapest in the safe house between the two sisters, and at that point, I even put down in my notes, and I'm going to quote myself here. Fuck, I don't think even Chris Evans got that physical. Cause man, they fight and you feel it. And it's very close quarters combat. You feel the punches, you feel the hits. It's, I think, possibly some of the best fight scenes that we've seen in a Marvel movie ever. And I understand, I know the gravity when I say that. I feel pretty comfortable in saying it though. Like, and I understand some of these movies have nothing but long action fight scenes, but these are up there, especially in one-on-one fights. Like Cap never took it to Bucky the same way that these two sisters went at each other. Mm-hmm. I got no problem saying that.
I love the fight between the two of them because, see, I'm not a girl and I don't have I do have a sister, and like we've gotten into fights, as siblings get, but I feel like when it's two girls, I feel like that's like a very specific kind of fight. And and that felt a little too real, and it was fun because they were fighting like siblings did, but they also fighting like super spice too, and I thought it added a little bit of spice to that, and I thought it was really fun.
So there are a few aspects in this that I really enjoyed about their sisterly relationship, and I think one of the reasons I really loved it was because it reminded me of my sisters a bit. The way they interacted, the way they fought, the way they argued, the way they talked to each other.
Yeah.
Like for example, in Budapest, when they're fighting, and the older one's like they're choking each other out. They're like, truce. Because they're fucking sisters,
Yeah.
Also, when they're running, and they're kind of, even when they're running, they're still shit talking each other. Like, oh, put your seatbelt on, whatever. Why are you driving? This is. Like, you're on the run from, like, a master assassin that's trying to massacre you.
Yeah.
But none the goddamn less, you're still like, oh, gee. You're on the run from a world-class spy that's trying to assassinate you. But even then, even at that point, you're still arguing. Like, it's petty and stupid, but it's what sisters would fucking do.
Yeah.
It's accurate. Like, they're around that.
They have really good chemistry, these two, and they manage that very well.
Well, also their action sequences were always like on point. There's not a bad fight in this whole movie at all. Even like, there's no point. In addition to all that, though, I really enjoyed, besides the chemistry, the smartness, the techniques that they used when they're on the run from Taskmaster and is it Yelena, right?
Yeah, Helena. Yeah.
When she's bleeding all over the floor, and even Romanoff is like, hey, like don't stop the bleeding yet, like keep going. They get down to the bottom, they kind of leave a trap for Taskmaster, just a false sense of security, and they're hiding in the train, in the train station, in the vent, and she's like, me and Cliff hid here for 2 days. That's a great fucking callback. I don't know if you remember that was in the Avengers.
Yeah.
And those moments, I really enjoy this movie. Like there was so much to enjoy, especially if you're a fan.
Yeah. I liked it. There was to me, the greatest fight sequences in a Marvel property still is like something like Daredevil. Like, to me, that's
like the hallway fight scenes.
And there's one in every season, and they're always amazing. Okay. So to me, that's the feat to beat, But when it comes to superhero movies, I'm going to throw a little curveball to you. To me, the greatest choreographed superhero movie, Birds of Prey. To me, the fight sequences in Birds of Prey are the most fun, energetic, and entertaining that I've seen in any superhero movie ever. This is close. Not gonna lie, this was close, but I feel like those were very dynamic. And while I feel like this one's the one that stands out the most to me is the fight between Romanoff and Yelena. To me, that fight in Budapest is like, especially then the chase, and when they're both like helping each other to like take down that pole and then jump into the other place. To me, that's great. And then when they go in and release the father figure, the Red Guardian, once again, I have to cut back to Daredevil. I just remember that scene in season 2 when the Punisher is leaving the prison, and he has that amazing like 10-minute long fight scene against everyone. That's like, to me, that's the feat to beat again.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I liked it, man. I like the action in the film. It's just that it's so weird to have 2 years without a Marvel movie that like I almost forgot how it felt to watch one, to watch a new one. And this one, I was ready to see this because it didn't feel like it was going to further the plot. That's what the shows are for right now. And I enjoy just seeing the action and seeing this character, because at the end of the day, I like that the movie was not like an end of the world or like a live or die situation. And it kind of feels like Natasha's death in Endgame feels more well earned, because she got to close this chapter in her life. She thought this was closed, it didn't, and now it gave her a chance to close that out. She finished. She's done with the Red Room, and she freed all these women. That's great. So now it feels even better to know that she died and she didn't leave that hanging. She got to fulfill that. And that's why I like this movie. It's a little bit simpler. It's shorter. It's centered on like that one mission. And that's what the movie needed to be. It didn't need, like you mentioned, it didn't need to be a beam to the sky thing. It just needed to be a mission. And we got the mission, and the mission accomplished. Triple S rank.
Triple A? No. I think the Hitman's Bodyguard.
I was referencing like Sonic games, but okay.
That too.
Yeah.
So quick question before we continue. Do you think that if Taskmaster was against Bucky, who do you think would have won?
Probably Bucky.
You think so? Because Taskmaster has everyone. Like, not just like a few. Like, Taskmaster can do anything.
Yeah, but Bucky has, hair. And
now Taskmaster can pull. If anything, he has the vibranium arm. That's the one advantage he's got.
Remember that during this time, if this is post Civil War, Bucky is like asleep, so he's knocked out during this canonically.
So what you're saying is Taskmaster would win in a fight?
I mean, in the same way that I would win in a fight.
Against a sleep? No, we would lose. Bucky would hear us coming a mile away. So let's jump to the prison with the breakout sequence where Romanoff and Yelena break out the Red Guardian. Their father. I don't know if you can see, but like I'm using like 10 quotation marks here. Father figure. Yeah. And they bust him out of jail.
One of my favorite like humor parts of the movie was Yelena making this little quips, these little comments through the entire film, and she made this comment about why do you always make that pose when you land? Which we now know as thanks to Deadpool, we now know as like superhero landing.
Yeah,
it's really bad. It's really bad on your knees, and and I love those quips. And then she does it, and then she goes like she loves to pose, and then she does the pose, and she's like, "This is ridiculous. Like
it's stupid. I'm never do this."
Yeah,
but yeah,
I like that scene. Yeah,
those little moments though make the world. Though there's another moment where she's telling her about, see this vest. This vest is the first thing I've ever bought myself. It's the first decision I've ever made.
I love the best conversation when she's like, look at all these pockets. They're so useful. Because like, you know what else? That is also a conversation that siblings would have. Like
that is though. That's what makes this matter so much, man. Is like those little scenes make the world. Not everything has to be about the plot, and that's part of what I want more in movies and what I enjoyed about this one. Sometimes I know and I think I've made this joke. Made this phrase. It's fat. It's not needed, but it helps.
It's juicy.
It's juicy. Yeah, it helps, man. Makes you give a shit more about the characters. If it was nothing but plot, you could probably cut like 15 minutes worth of dialogue from this movie. If you only want plot, but no, those extra moments of dialogue and talking and joking and chatting and laughing. What was that stupid Rob Thomas song? Our lives are made in these small hours. It's the little moments that matter, and those moments matter.
Sometimes you reference the most random thing. And like
I
I'm for it, but like I don't know. It just reminds me how like how much and how little I know you. So
you're welcome.
yeah. No, I mean, you know me. I'm way more of a dialogue person than I am an action person. So I appreciated those moments. Like those moments mean the world to me. Um, so when they go to free up the Red Guardian, first of all, let's talk about David Harbour. I mean, everyone loves him since Stranger Things. I mean, he plays such a sweet, stern character, and then he comes back to play another sweet, stern character, father figure in this one, and he's great. I really enjoy him as a performer. I was one of like the 15 people that saw the Hellboy remake with him,
Mhm.
and the movie was not good, but he was good in it when they let him do things. I think he had there's this one moment in the Hellboy movie where he gets one line that's so uniquely Hellboy
Mhm.
that it made me cheer. There's this one moment where he's fighting against this. Have you seen it?
No, but I think you've told me about it. He's fighting Mila Jovovich, and she's like, "We can be
Yeah,
together."
yeah.
He's like, "I'm a Capricorn, and you're a crazy bitch."
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the line. I'm a big fan of that line. Just that's the movie was not good, but we'll always have that line. And you know how they say that we'll always have Paris, we'll always have I'm a Capricorn and you're a crazy bitch. Big fan of that line. So yeah, so big fan of David Harbour. And did you saw him in SNL by any chance?
No, actually, I did not.
Okay, so you know how SNL sometimes will make like fake trailers for movies that don't exist.
Yeah.
They made this sketch that's like, we'll come back to the movie in a second. I just need to talk about this because I think you're gonna really like it. They made like the trailer for for Joker, like for the Joker movie, but instead of Joker, he's Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street.
Okay.
So they make like this super edgy R-rated version of Sesame Street, and he's Oscar the Grouch, like the one that comes out of the trash. I'll show it to you after we finish, but like it's amazing.
I feel like I do actually need to see this.
I'll show it to you when we finish. So yeah, so David Harbour is great, and this character that he plays also great, really funny. This really stern father figure. He reminded me kind of like the dad from Mitchell's versus the Machines. Like this. You could tell he's a very loving father who's just very in his own
World.
character. He kind of misses his glory days, but he really, you can really tell he really cares about these girls and about Rachel Weisz. So I liked him. So when they break him out of the prison, the first thing he does is like, "Oh, my girls, you come here to save me," and then immediately they go like, "Shut up! Tell us about the Red Room." Straight to business.
Remember, he's like, "You two have killed so many people. Your ledgers are dripping with blood. I'm so proud." I'm sorry for the really, really poor accent, folks. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. But if it does, you can tweet me at I don't give a fuck. Twitter.com.
Yeah, we're blocked in Russia. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I feel like I should know that.
I feel like if we weren't, we are now.
Fuck Putin. Anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome for that soundbite, future me. So
I'm not gonna say anything because I am genuinely terrified of Vladimir Putin. So I'm not gonna say anything.
That makes 50% of the rollback.
Yeah.
So no, okay. What was I gonna say? Actually, I didn't hate his character. Right? I didn't hate his character, but he kind of annoyed me. Like he
really.
Let me explain. And we all know someone like this, certain individuals. He would not shut the fuck up about his glory days. And
have you ever met a dad?
Yes. But you know what? My dad wasn't like that.
Okay.
But I've met 50-year-old men that won't shut the fuck up about, man, if he had just made that one catch, he would have gone to state. Aren't you like? Don't you have kids in college? Yeah. Mm. You were never gonna go pro. I'm sorry. You don't have the athletic capability. But no, like that's just the thing. Like, and I know that's a trope. I know that's a funny trope to some people. I find it just really fucking annoying because like not a week goes by I don't deal with one of those shitheads that's just like, yeah, back in my glory days. I don't give a fuck about your glory days. I'm sorry. If your glory days were more than 50% of your life ago, you're wasting away, man. There's only these precious few years you have left in this little fist of yours. You're dying. You only have this fistful of years left, Brian. You're dying, Brian. You're dying. That was targeted. Well, okay, so I think you get my point.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I would agree with you if he wasn't so charismatic and he didn't have that scene where like I'm talking right now to give you a second to compose yourself and
oh, you can't see it, I'm crying over here.
Yeah. So we get to a moment where like the Black Widow family is trying to, you know, have some dinner and trying to catch up, and you know, Natasha's immediately down to business, and this offends little sister Florence Pugh, and she storms into her room, and then Red Guardian goes after her, and he's trying to talk to her, and she's just not having any of it, which is a conversation that every daughter has had with her father at some point in their lives. I can guarantee it. And then there's this very sweet moment where Harbor just sits in this chair across from her and starts singing this song that she really liked, that I played at the start, which was the American Pie by Don McLean. And right in that moment, they just look at each other and they start singing together. And I love that scenes like that. To me, that was a very effective use of like memory and song. It made the flashback scene worth it, and it made them reconnect. And I love scenes like that. To me, if you found him annoying at the start, I would be inclined to agree with you if that scene did not exist. No. To me, that scene saved him.
You're not wrong. He did redeem himself. I just found that one part of his character annoying, the whole fucking Glory Days thing.
Yeah.
But no, you're not wrong. He had a heart. And by the end, you know, him crying and wanting to apologize to Romanoff, you know, when he thought they were caged right next to each other.
Yeah.
No, moments like that, I can appreciate that. Like, you know, that's heartfelt. He's trying to make amends.
Yeah.
And then we meet up with the mother.
Boy.
Oh boy, this shit gets complicated real fast.
Yeah. I kind of like the scene where they see each other again, and then he puts on the suit, and then they're kind of like eyeing each other, and it's like, oh, we pretended, but you know,
we did.
Where there's smoke, there was fire. So,
oh god,
I don't know. I like the little looks that they give each other. Like I can sense that there was a history, and they don't dwell into it a lot, but I liked it, and which that connects to another scene where there's the two of them, and he's about to fight Taskmaster, and then he goes like, in case we never see each other again, I have to tell you. And then he just turns, he's like, oh, you left. Yeah.
I love those little things. I like deadpan humor, but it's funny. That's just hilarious.
Yeah. I read that apparently Harbor based his performance on Ricky Gervais from the UK version of The Office. Mm-hmm. So you can tell, like, he's kind of like awkward and like a little cringe, but really funny. Yeah.
The thing is, we don't get too much of the cringe, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
So, all right. What did you think of Melina?
Melina?
Is it Melina?
Yeah. Melina, yeah.
Sorry, just looking for the pronunciation. So, what did you think of her character? I really liked her in a general term. You know, she. How do I say this without getting too dark? She's been in too long, if you know what I mean. You know, and she even says like they cycled me through the Red Room 4 times before you were even born. Like I've been through my fair share of shit. She seems like someone who's has some ghosts. She's been through some hell. She you know, she even says it herself, like, I don't know how to think for myself, which is kind of scary and kind of terrifying and a little too real. Yeah, not too real, but you get what I mean. You get the signs of it.
Absolutely.
I'm beating around the bush, but you get what I'm getting at.
Absolutely. And you know, the movie's not afraid to go there. You know, it's like the Grassy, they go there. And I liked her, but I thought out of the four of them, she was the one that was, to me, that was the least interesting one. Which is, you know, it shouldn't be a competition, and that's not the way that the movie should be seen. But I feel like it's the one that we hear about the least. And that's where I think one of my main problems with the movie comes up, which is that all four of them, you know, could have their own movie. They're all interesting enough, and I just wish we had seen like a little bit more of each of them. Like the Red Guardian is a super soldier. That's enough to carry a movie, you know, and we see him and we kind of just see him as a side character, and then it ends and the movie ends and he just leaves, and it's like, okay, there goes another super soldier just free into the world, you know.
Well, I wonder what Captain America he mixed it up with. Are we talking Captain America the Elijah from Winter Soldier?
It's possible.
I would like to see that feature.
Yeah,
that would be really fucking dark, but I would like to see that feature.
Yeah. And I don't know, because for example, I think about you're gonna love this. You know Superman Red Son?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically Captain America Red Son, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to hear that story, you know? I want to hear that, you know? And he's cool. He's a cool side character for this movie, but now it's like, oh, now there's another super soldier kind of loose, kind of like on the loose. Like that should be a bigger deal than what it is. And you know, he was fun. He was a fun side character, but now I'm just thinking, super soldier just loose out in the world, like and he's tattooed and he's wearing a red ass suit, you know. He's
I mean, I wouldn't have mind seeing in his prime, you know, Red Guardian versus Captain America. I would not mind seeing them in their prime mix it up, but sadly, David Harbour cannot hold a candle to Chris Evans. I'm sorry, it's not a fair comparison, but also fucking USSR collapsed. I'm just saying. I'm just saying one of our civilizations collapsed earlier than the other.
Oh God.
Getting too meta, huh?
I'm not American, so I don't care. I'm not in this dick measuring contest you have with Russia. I don't care about that.
Look, one of us got to the moon first, and it wasn't them.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, you did go to the moon. That's 100% real. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
I mean, as far as we know, there's
so.
In Disney's Black Widow, there's a scene where, so they break him out of prison, they reunite, and then they go in and go to the Red Room, which they make this change that I really like. It's in the sky. It's a spaceship, pretty much. It's like a helicarrier from S.H.I.E.L.D., except that it's, you know, really phallic, and it's just kind of floating in space. Yeah.
Well, if you notice, they use the same thing that Loki used to take down the helicarrier in Avengers. Same strategy. Fuck it, take out one of the engines.
Yeah, and it works. You know, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And I want to talk a little bit about the villain. I want to talk a little bit about his name is
asshole number one.
Not like the actual like
Dracoff.
Dracoff.
Weinstein as Dracoff.
Yeah. What a terrifying presence. I mean, they do this really cool thing with the cinematography where they always shot him like really close, like his face is always really close. And not to insult him, but he comes off as very gross. In a good way. I mean, he comes off as like this very dangerous, very slow talking, very slimy, like almost snaky character that, you know, if he was a real life person, he could pass as like a very perverted movie producer. Like he was.
I was about to say, he reminds me of a certain Weinstein guy.
Yeah, he was horrifying, and that Marvel villains have this thing where like they tend to be very low key and kind of forgettable. I'm not gonna forget this guy. He was terrifying to the core. He always got really close to the face of anyone that he was talking to, and you could see like
he broke the bubble. He broke the bubble.
Yeah, he was. I was very uncomfortable watching it.
Well, because also like by the time he starts doing that to Romanoff, it's already very clear. He's like, shoot me, and she's like, I fucking can't. He's like, stab me then. What the hell? And he's like, you can't hurt me. And the second you know that veil of protection is on him, every time he gets close, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Every time he gets, like inches away from her face, you're just like, fuck this guy. It feels almost offensive, like get the fuck away from her, that kind of thing. And I think that's what they're going for. And if that was what they were going for,
it worked.
Fucking mission accomplished, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And
it creates just an aura of like uncomfortableness, and
he reminds me of some douchebag that used to be like the president, I think. Some asshole, some like 6'1" Cheeto looking motherfucker. Which, you know what? I take that back. That's an insult to all cheese-based products. I'm sorry about that. Some orange piece of shit is what I'm getting at.
I don't think the thing they add to Cheetos is actual cheese. I think it's like a cheese adjacent product.
They can call it Cheetos.
Cheetos.
So drink
all week. So yeah,
book off.
Uncomfortable as hell, which I think is effective. And
he did not get the death he deserved, though.
I agree.
It should have been worse, and it should have been Romanoff.
It was kind of satisfying though, but like on how kind of quick it was. And were you okay? So I need to ask you something here. In all of the trailers and all the posters and everything, they never revealed who played Taskmaster. I remember I would check IMDb or Wikipedia or Letterboxd or anything, and nowhere it would say who's playing Taskmaster, and they did it on purpose. So I was thinking it's either one of these two. Either it's someone that nobody knows and nobody cares to say because they're probably not famous enough or whatever, or it's going to be like a surprise reveal. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised by the reveal?
Yes. Because, instinctively, I thought it was going to be a dude. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Because Taskmaster is in the comics a dude. The at least the canonical version that's typically used is male. So, one, I was not expecting a female, like, at all. I guess to add to it, I was not expecting that at all. Could have been maybe a clone. Imagine fucking a clone of Chris Evans or something. Like, oh, this was not supposed to exist, but it does.
Mm-hmm. I was way more shocked that it was his daughter. Like, that to me was the real shock. Like, oh, you found a way to like this. That to me was when it got real dark. Like that. Damn, like that's some demented like
shit. Well, if there's any real way to like get it like further across the board that this fucker is evil, he turned his daughter into his like kingpin assassin, which Jesus Christ. Like really? Really? This poor little girl, which I mean, to be fair, they did a really good job of building Romanoff and her regret. Because remember, she did cause the event. She did cause the bombing that would have and should have killed her.
Yeah.
Not excusing it, but like she has to face her demon. Imagine the nervousness you get for when you have to go and apologize to your parents or something. Like, imagine looking at the person you thought you assassinated like fucking 12 years ago. Like, oh, last time I saw you were like a third your age, like half your size, and you're on fire. My bad. How do you apologize, man? I'm asking you.
Oh God, no. I don't know. I don't know. I grew up Catholic, so we don't apologize. We just die.
No, we feel a lot of guilt, Catholic guilt.
Have you seen that joke where they go like, I don't believe in guilty pleasures because I grew up Catholic and to me guilt is a pleasure, and
God damn it.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. I feel like that was a bit of a cop out, if I'm honest, because
Do you
we
use
have this.
Taskmaster?
No, uh, there's this scene. There's a scene where Natasha explains to Yelena how she killed, and to her knowledge, she killed Dreykov and the daughter, like when she blew up that with that bomb. And now we, the audience, we have to carry with the fact that we know that Natasha did some heinous things, but that she murdered a child. And now we have to be like, oh, do we still like her? She murdered a child. And then they're like, oh no, she didn't kill her. She's alive. So, we good. And I don't know. It kind of reminded me of kind of what they did. Did you ever watch the Star Wars, the Han Solo movie?
No.
Okay. So throughout the entire Star Wars canon, we know that, Han Solo was a smuggler and he was a thief and he did heinous things. And that's kind of why we like him. He was like, this rebel, smart aleck character. We like him because of that. And then when we saw the Solo movie, it's like, okay, like he did like one robbery, but then he's like, oh no, this is bad. I'm morally great, but I'm more white than black. And I didn't like that because it was like,
it took away from it.
It kind of felt like they were afraid to show him like doing something bad. Like it was gonna spit on this perfect image of like, Han Solo is like kind of morally gray, but he's more white than black. And it's like, no, let him be a little bit black, And with this, it kind of felt like that. It kind of felt like a cop out. Like, what if she had murdered that child and now she has to carry with that? And now we, the audience, we have to carry that and decide if that was right or wrong. Or maybe it's neither. We have to think about that and think critically and compare ourselves to what we have done in that situation. But then they just let her off the news, like, oh no, she's alive, don't worry, and she forgives you. Because like the first thing she does when she gets her when she does the little red mist thingy, the first thing she does is she asks like, is he gone? And then he goes like, yeah, he's gone. It's like, you're free, you're good. Like, she's still trying to kill you, girl. Like,
well, no, I mean, you got to remember though. Like, granted, that happened. What's worse? Yeah. An assassin tries to kill you. Your father turns you into this monster super soldier, and you remember all the murders that you had to commit.
I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I'm saying the conversation is worth having, and we can't have that conversation if she's alive.
Fair. Okay, I'll take. Yeah, that's fair criticism.
Yeah. God, every once in a while I can sound so smart in the show. Like, God, I'm so.
It's funny. I also put down in my notes here for Dreykov. Such a tiny man, such a dick of a villain, though.
I love that scene where after he explains the plan and she goes, yeah, you're doing that from your small little console. Like you might as well hurt this man's pride, Like,
well, also, like, I knew she was pulling a Romanoff when he was punching her. I was like, no, there's a reason for this. There's a fucking reason that she wants him to hit him. Because otherwise, this is a little.
She
excessive.
wanted him to break her nose, yeah.
And she's like, you can't even fucking do that. Bah! And she breaks her own nose, and she's like, now I can't smell your pheromones. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just wish she had killed him faster. She should have been the one to get the kill in that aspect. For all the hell he caused, she should have gotten it, or all the Black Widow should have been like, no, we're gonna make this slow and painful. Like all 20 of them. Yeah. Like, nah, we're gonna make this last for a minute or two. Which fucking I thought it was gonna get a little overwhelmed, but it turned out to be a decent fight scene when it's Romanoff versus 10 Black Widows, and she shows, no, I'm the best. I'm fucking watching prove it.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, these women are fighting against their will, but you get the point.
Yeah.
And just as they're about to kill her, they finally overwhelm her, like all 10 of them. Elena manages to save them all, and then we're off to the races for the climax of the act.
Yeah. Pretty entertaining movie. Pretty entertaining climax to this. The fight. I made this joke when Florence Pugh kind of like throws the little sticks into the the thingy and makes the whole thing explode. And she goes away like flying, and then Black Widow like jumps to save her and puts her in the thingy. You can tell that English is not my first language.
The parachute.
Yeah, the parachute. I made this little joke because like it looks like Florence Pugh is gonna die, and then when she's saved, I turned to my sister, and then I just went, "You're not gonna die. You're gonna be in like at least 6 more of these, bitch. You have yourself a Marvel contract. You ain't going nowhere."
Yeah.
And yeah, she ain't going nowhere. And so she goes after her, and she's saved. And then Black Widow, she gets to have her little fight with Taskmaster until the little mist kind of frees her. And maybe I didn't get it, but there's this one scene that I didn't get. So at the end, all the widows get to escape, and they all say their goodbyes, and then they're coming to get her. They're coming to get Black Widow. Do we just assume that she escapes at the end, or
fuck yeah, she gets away? Come on.
I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense, but like, I don't know. They just kind of cut to her being caught, and then they just cut to her escaping again, and she's blonde now, which we know because we saw Infinity War. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. The ending of the movie made sense. I just wish there could have been more of it. Like, I wish there was more to the series. Dreykov gets killed. I think he deserved a worse death. Oh, also, did you notice they pulled a Godzilla on us?
Which Godzilla?
The 2014. Did you notice there were scenes in the trailer that were not included, but that was done to preserve the twist? Because remember, there's I'm going to use quotation marks here, twist, where Milena, the mother, and Romanoff switch places. They have that, there's a callback to that, mask thing that they use in the Winter Soldier. And she's in the classic, it's the old school classic Black Widow gear. In the trailers, when she's falling down and with the backpack, she's wearing white, not black.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like they completely flipped the script on that. They pulled some punches there, and props to them. They were smart enough to be like, look, we got to do some fucking bullshit editing around this. That way people don't catch on that, there's a twist in the end. I kind of figured when I saw Romanoff just knocked out on the floor, I was like, bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit. Like, they were just having a good conversation. There's a twist. That's not fucking Milena. That's Romanoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. I kind of saw. I didn't watch and rewatch the trailers for this one like a lot, so I kind of didn't remember that exactly. But I can see where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to you a little bit about the post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. And what this means for the future of the MCU, because as much as I missed MCU movies, I fucking miss staying after the credits and watching the post-credit scene, like genuinely not knowing what's gonna happen. And we have this scene where it's post Endgame, and we see Florence Pugh, her character, show up to Natasha Romanoff's grave, and she's there and she's feeling for her sister, and then this character. This what's her name? Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who we saw play the same character in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She shows up and she's playing this kind of like opposite Nick Fury, but for villain's character that she's playing. She's kind of recruiting like an alternate Avengers kind of. And we know that she has John Walker up her sleeve, and now she has Florence Pugh. And she tells her, "This is your next target.
And I want to deliver it myself."
Yeah. And she goes, "This is the man responsible for your sister's death." And it's Hawkeye. And I guess now she's going to show up in the Hawkeye show. Cool. I think Florence Pugh could be like the next character to like keep showing up in movies, because I think she's great. I want to see her fight like in the same team as like a young Avengers, her, Spider-Man, Kate Bishop as the new Hawkeye, maybe Miss Marvel. I'm into it. I like what they're doing. Since this movie was gonna come out before Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm guessing we were supposed to meet the Louis Dreyfus character beforehand, like meet her here before meeting her in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So I guess it doesn't matter now,
Mhm.
but it's cool. I like that we know kind of where this is going next. Like she's being tricked into thinking, oh, he killed your sister. Um, I like this. I want to see where it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's probably gonna be the main villain in the
Hawkeye
Hawkeye
show.
series. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Well, she'll probably be the main villain for like the first 3 episodes,
Yeah.
and then like hey, Natty wouldn't have wanted this, blah blah blah. We knew her, and then they're gonna reveal the real villain for Hawkeye, which is I don't fucking know who Hawkeye's main villains are, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
White Tiger probably, and if you get that reference, I love you forever.
Ain't no law when you're drinking White Claws. And
Boo!
I'm sorry. I don't know who the villains in Hawkeye are gonna be. I just know that it's gonna be him training Kate Bishop, and I know he's gonna have a Lucky, the golden retriever dog, which is great because it's always good when you have a dog in any property. So that's Black Widow. That is Marvel's Black Widow. To close up, I think it's highly enjoyable. I think the beginning is a little slow. I think that's the weakest part of the movie, the first third. But after that, it just ramps up. It goes up. It's fun. It's great. I think it fits really well between that period between Civil War and Spider-Man: Homecoming and Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you watch those together, I think it falls really well there. If you ever want to do like a watch along where you watch all the Marvel movies in chronological order, it falls into good place. I think it sets up good stuff for the future. I really enjoyed it. I will give this movie like a 3.75 stars out of 5. I liked it. It probably cracks my top 10 MCU movies. Would I have liked to have seen a full trilogy of Black Widow movies? Hell yeah, missed opportunity. But hopefully it's not a mistake that Marvel and Disney are willing to suffer through again. What do you think?
I am gonna refer. I'm gonna still say I'm gonna keep this part.
Okay.
This movie is everything Captain Marvel wishes it could have been. It feels like a strong movie, great story. It's not trying to be something, it just is. If there's an argument to be made that we need more women empowerment movies, this is a caption. This is on par to me. And I genuinely mean this as a high compliment. This is on par with Wonder Woman. Like, this movie should have been made years ago. This was a great film, a huge missed opportunity. I wanted more Romanoff because her history is more complicated than just one story that one movie can tell. There's so much more that I wish we could have had that they should have done. She could have been in equal to Spider-Man as far as her carrying on from the first Avenging team to the second. She goes from being the spar, the one that can go in the first one, all the way to like, no, I'm the veteran here. Steve's gone. Tony's dead. Hulk is injured. Thor is fucking finding himself. Like, no, like I have to lead. The same role that she kind of played in Endgame, where she was kind of leading the world's government to some degree, the world security force, the Avengers. That could have been her. She could have been the senior of like, this is the direction we're going to go, and here's why. I've been through this game. I've done this. Fucking great movie, missed opportunity, but I'm so glad we at least got one good film out of it.
What would you score it?
A minus? A?
Really?
Genuinely, probably my favorite. God, this is up there with like Black Panther and Civil War as far as like my favorite like Marvel movie. That's like a one shot.
Okay.
And that's not like an Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. I like
you.
I hope this isn't me going overboard. I like it more than any of the Iron Mans. Iron Man?
Wow.
Iron Mans.
Yeah.
And I think I like it more than any of the Thors too, or the Spider-Man. Because I like the spy thriller aspect of it. Again, it's a great movie with a lot of really good action and fight scenes. These are John Wick level fight scenes, and like again, fucking compliment.
Yeah.
Chef kisses.
Man.
If you're listening to us via YouTube, please like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it.
If you're listening to us on any social media, you can follow us on any of our links down below. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to hear more about our thoughts on movies, go to therollback.net. I've been Chema.
And I've been Eddie.
And this
was the
rollback. Signing off with a reminder to get a bidet. Seriously, it's like an air fryer for your bathroom and for your butt.